Well, yes, there are speakers. Welcome. Find your way to a seat, and we'll get going. Um, we're this is a new experience for me because I had a voice message on my phone and I think emails from Deborah long before we ever set up a date. This is the first connection for keys that I didn't have to go searching for. And it took almost a year because we had already planned so many months, and we were able to push this ahead. And now I can't believe that we're here at this opportunity. So welcome anyone who is on live stream. I talked to Carrie Davison the other day. She is a faithful live streamer in everything. So if there's one or two people, if there's one person on the live stream, I'm sure it's her. If there's three people on the live stream, I'm sure she's one of them. She's doing great. I talked to her. I also connected with Nancy Johnson yesterday, who is in Franklin Park, and she's doing okay. And then I also connected with Jack Wright, and he and Liz are not in the same apartment together. Jack is in assisted living, and Liz is in the memory care unit. And I saw both of them yesterday. Liz is happy, but she really doesn't know what's going on around her. But fortunately, she's happy. But she did know me. Now, I don't know whether she knew me because she read my name tag or whether she knew me because she looked at me. But so if you think of them, pray for them. I understood from someone on the staff that she and Jack have recently, within the last 3 weeks, have been moved. And when someone gets moved to memory care, you may be aware of this, they give them some time to get adjusted before they bring an influx of visitors, because it can be confusing. So I think that Jack was going to be able to see her last night for the first time in a couple of weeks. And I'm sure they were both excited about that. I also ran into Elaine Dunlap there. So we're getting a community of folks at Franklin Park on Sunset. Elaine, the first thing she told me, she says, "I'm home here." And I don't know if you know, she had to leave the forum because the forum couldn't offer her the type of care that she needed. And so now she's there in assisted living. And both Nancy and Elaine told me they had this little bracelet on, and it had a button on it. Said, the good thing about this, they've told me anything I need, just push that button, and they'll be right there. And they said it works. And it doesn't matter whether I've fallen in the bathroom or whether I need a light bulb changed in my kitchen. You know, they're being well taken care of. But if you remember them, pray for them, and it was good to see them. And then I think we did pray for Robin last week. She has had her surgery. She's had her liver transplant, and she's in the process of healing. And she's apparently there's a ton of ports all over that have to be taken care of. And so be sure that you continue to pray for her. And I don't know if Barry would let me be mad at me if I mentioned that he is going in to have knee replacement on Monday. So be praying for him as well. And I think that's all the announcements off the top of my head that are concerning with people that we know and love. So we're glad to have this group here. I'll let them explain what they do, and it just really is interesting to me, and so they'll give you more detail. And thank you, Deborah, for being here, and you'll introduce your team.
Thank you, Pastor Moore. By the way, your seat is up here.
I guess I've been voluntold.
Yeah,
Use the blanket?
you absolutely may. Somebody help, Patty, somebody help Pastor Moore?
We
Yeah.
got one of these-
Close up the chair all the way.
We have one of these chairs at home. Oh, you do? And I know it's hard to get into.
Yeah, it's a zero gravity lounge chair. It may not, the legs may not be open all the way. Yeah, push it down. There you go. And leaning back. We call this the cloud chair. We use it in practices. We take turns lying in it and listening to the songs, because it helps us to understand what it's like to be in that bed. And when I talk about when I mention beds, threshold choirs have the mission of singing peace and comfort to people who struggle at the thresholds of life and death. And most notably, those are people in hospice and palliative care. I'm Deborah Carithers, and I'd like you to meet the rest of the singers.
I'm Melissa Miller.
I'm Bill Pullen.
Good morning, I'm Renee Ornis.
I'm Patricia Osterhout.
So what's going to happen here is we're going to sing something, then we're going to talk a little, then we're going to sing another song, then we're going to talk a little. And if you will, please hold any applause to the very end. We appreciate that.
Rest easy, let every trouble drift away. Easy, rest easy. Love enfolds you and holds you safe. Easy, rest easy. Let every trouble drift away. Easy, rest easy. Love enfolds you and holds you safe. Easy, rest easy. Let every trouble drift away. Easy, rest easy. Love enfolds you and holds you safe.
I'm going to give credit to the songwriters as we go through the presentation, and that song was Rest Easy by Marilyn Power Scott. What we do is not new. French Benedictine monks sang Gregorian chants to the pilgrims dying in their monasteries. Lay nuns in Belgium, called Beguines, sang to dying people in their sanctuary hostels. In the USA, before the Great Depression, people died at home. Families held vigils by their bedsides, singing hymns and favorite folk songs to comfort them and their loved ones. You are so loved.
Ooh, you are so loved. You are so loved. You are so loved. You are so loved. Ooh, you are so loved. You are so loved. You are so loved. You are so loved. Ooh, you are so loved. You are so loved. You are so loved.
Indigenous American tribes and many non-Western religions and cultures sing or chant mantras, sometimes directly into the ear of the dying person. It was at the bedside of a dying friend when Kate Munger rediscovered the soothing power of music. In March 2000, she founded the first chapter of Threshold Choir in Northern California. Now, there are almost 200 chapters worldwide and about 2,400 individual memberships. Either as a scheduled visit to a long-term care facility or by private request on our website or email, we visit in groups of 3 or 4. That's it. So many angels
All around me, so many angels, it's you I see. So many
Much like the music sung in a chapel or cathedral, our songs create a sacred space within which the emotions and the mystery surrounding death can be held. And I need my notes. Doggone it. We don't perform. Our songs are not hymns, but they are prayers, short blessings that are easy enough to learn that the family might even continue the singing after we leave. Many can be sung in Spanish, and we consider it a great honor if someone falls asleep while we're singing. I will be
Your standing stone, I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you.
I've been derelict in telling you the songwriters' names. You Are So Loved is written by Heather Houston. So Many Angels by Kate Munger, the founder of the organization. And Standing Stone, the one we just sang, is written by Melanie DeMoore, a graduate of UIW. Although our visits are undeniably therapeutic, we are not music therapists. We do, however, take as long as 9 months to prepare before we go to the bedside. We have standardized trainings, and as you can see, we sing without sheet music. So it takes a while to learn all the songs we sing. There are almost 500 of them in our repertoire. Obviously, we don't sing all of those. We kind of pick and choose our favorites. But almost all of them come from within the organization itself. A singer will go to the bedside, realize that there's a message she wants to convey, or he, that hasn't had a song written for it yet. And the next thing you know, they've written a song. So if it sounds like these songs are written around those very critical messages, that's why. One more song, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. This is May Peace Be With You by Annie Gerritsen. May peace be with you.
Peace be with you now. May peace be with you always. Peace be
Well, it was awesome. It really was. And I thinking about the numerous folks that I visited on their deathbed and felt like I wasn't saying enough or what do I say? I can imagine how comforting it would be to that person and to the family, if family members are around. And I tried not to fall asleep, but it was a neat experience, and it gave me some time to reflect on what I could do more or differently when I'm visiting someone who I know is dying. So thank you for that experience. Any questions?
Do the patient or family members request a favorite hymn sometimes to be sung?
Sometimes. We don't, because we have such an extensive repertoire, we don't have the bandwidth to learn a lot of hymns. We do have a nice arrangement of Amazing Grace, because that's often requested. But the theory behind what we do is that we don't sing familiar songs. We don't make any assumptions about the songs they would like to hear, because there may be negative associations in their own minds and hearts with those songs. As long as we're singing something they don't know, they can completely sink into the experience. Their left brain can be turned off. In fact, ideally, a sing has no conversation attached to it. Once we've made our introductory visit, we like to be able to just walk in, sit down, sing, and leave. And the patient can just lie there and soak it all in. Anything else?
How many times would you visit the same person?
It depends on how early they've called us in the process. We sing at Abode, the contemplative care of the dying, up on Post Oak. And of course, you know, hospice, people are brought into hospice when they have less than 6 months to live, but that can be extended. So we may sing for a person once or twice. We may sing for them over a period of 8 or 10 weeks.
How long of a time do you stay with them and sing?
About as long as you've heard us do today. Mm-hmm. Yes?
Do you always go with the same group, or do you?
Oh, no, there are 20 of us. And in fact, we have a men's circle. Bill and Renee are part of a men's group that sings separately, because, of course, you know, their voices are lower. And they, darn them, they want to sing in their own registers. So, but they make an absolute beautiful sound on their own, you know, blending. We call our songs lullabies for the end of life, and you could tell from the volume we were keeping that that's how we sing them. Bob?
Do you have separate repertoire for like children or teens?
Our repertoire covers a lot of different situations. There's one that was playing on the intercom that was written for families specifically, called the Arms of Grace. We don't have a lot for children, but we find that most of the songs we sing serve them well. And invariably the parents are with them, so yeah. One of the things we discovered early on is that we model the way to behave around a person who's dying. We look them in the eye. The very fact that we're there, visiting them, spending time with them on their journey, is a huge gift. Even family members who visit can often be so anxious about it that they don't look them in the eye. They don't know what to do. They want to stay busy. And when we come in, it's a great relief for them. They can just sit, listen to the music, and hear the messages themselves.
I'd be interested in hearing from others in the group. How did you decide you wanted to be a part of this group? What's your journey with the singers?
Well, I was interested in facing the final experience of my life and what that would be like. I didn't really want to come into it without any knowledge. And so I was thinking about ways that I could work with the dying, and none of it felt right. And then one day I was listening to public radio, and there was an ad for singing to the dying, and I've always sung, so I thought, oh, that I can do. And so that's how I got into it.
My joining this group is similar to Melissa's that you just heard. I also heard it on Texas Public Radio, and I was approaching my retirement at the time that I heard it, and I thought, oh, what a wonderful thing to do when I retire upcoming soon. And I have since retired, and so I got involved with this group, and I've sung in choirs most of my life, and so I just love to sing, and I thought, what better thing to do is to sing, and sing to those who are at the threshold of life. So.
Well, I was a physician before I retired, and so for 41 years, I helped people battle against death and suffering, but there was a time when we'd done everything that we knew that we could do to help the people. And it seemed like, I felt like, what else can I offer my patients and their family? And when I retired, I heard about this organization, and so I thought this would be a way that I could continue to help people, even after all the medical help had been given and support, help them transition. And I think I've also benefited a lot from the people we've sung to.
Well, this is going to sound like an advertisement for public radio, but I also heard about it on the radio. And I was new to town, and it just fascinated me. It stopped me in my tracks, and I just thought, well, I have to find out what that's all about. And so I've continued with it.
Hang on to it, Bill. Let's see what else comes up.
Any other questions?
Just a comment, I wondered if you worried about your next paycheck, because we have evidence by cameras and people that you were almost sleeping on the job.
Oh, dear.
I was playing a role.
He's a method actor.
Pardon? Have you ever been on TV before? Yes.
I saw a show once on Texas Country Report, Bob Phillips. And they were in the hill country somewhere in a small area, but these angels sang in the hallways of the facility that they were in, and they also went and sang to the people at their bedside.
That's our Austin group.
Yeah, we have other groups. Yeah.
I don't know who they, I can't remember who they
Yeah.
were, but,
There's a group in Austin, there's one in Dallas.
okay. This probably was closer to Austin for what I was listening to. But I thought it was beautiful. It was the first time I'd ever heard anything like that. This might be a stupid question. Is this a Christian organization?
We honor all traditions and faiths. As you could hear, our songs refer to things like love, grace, angels. We even have a few that mention God. We have one of my favorites is based on a psalm, Be Still and Know I Am. But no, we don't want to, we want to be very inclusive in the people that sing and the people we sing for.
I would just want to say
Thank you. What's your name? My name is Jerry. Jerry, thank you. He brought up something that I'm not sure all of you heard, but the last thing to go, the last sense to be lost is hearing. And I have been present singing when a patient who had been non-responsive for several days suddenly started tapping out the rhythm of the songs with his fingers. And it's not often, but sometimes we're singing for someone who's hooked up to monitors. Not usual. But I have watched as the blood pressure and the pulse rate go down. And I just have to mention this. One of the things we really strive for when we sing, excuse me, go away, hair, is to convey love with our voices. We try to wrap that person in a blanket of love. And there are many levels on which they can feel that. They can actually, many of them, feel the vibrations of our voices in their chests. By the way, here's another important point. We sing by consent only. If the patient doesn't want us, we don't force ourselves. We couldn't. And often, not often, I say every once in a while, once in a blue moon, there'll be, it's something strange. It's one reason we're here, because we're trying to raise awareness about what we do. And I've been turned away from a deathbed because the nurse in charge had no clue. She thought we were going in there with jazz hands and Broadway hits. So if a patient who's unfamiliar with us says no, we'll leave.
And has happened a few times is like at Abode, there are 3 rooms, and one of them may say no, 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 and then we'll go to the next room and sing, and then they'll say yes, 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 come back. So that has happened too.
Or we'll sing out in the hallway, like the Austin folks. Or we'll say, how about just one song? And very often, once they hear one song, we got them on the hook. Anything you guys want to mention about?
I think I speak for everyone here that although we do this to serve others and bring comfort to others, it's very rewarding to us each time we sing. Just to sing music is very relaxing to us and rewarding. And our purpose is to comfort and sing love to others. And so it's just very rewarding for us too.
And it's a privilege to share it all with you. Thank you.
Yes, occasionally we will get, or several times a year, a request to come to somebody's home who know that they are in their final days, and we will go. And we also sing at funerals.
I've left some business cards on that table. We have an email address and a website.
Thresholdchoir.org.
Yeah. And I think there's a phone number on there. There must be.
I don't think you're here recruiting, but how could someone get involved with Threshold Singers?
As it happens, the only cards I had were the recruiting cards. They say, love to sing? Same avenues by which they would call us for a sing. The email address, the website.
Is there orientation, training process. I know from experience of that not everyone is comfortable walking into a room knowing that someone is dying, and that brings a little bit of angst in folks. So how do you help people pass that, or if they can't get past that, would you recommend that they not join your group?
We have a fairly extensive training that's all done online. 4 parts. The first part is everything we want a person to know before they go to a bedside, and it really it covers all those things like, what do I do if I feel like I need to cry? And then the other 3 parts are videos they can watch on their own time at home, and those cover vocal development, our own exploration of death and dying, and how to present a calm, centered presence.
And then they also start coming to our rehearsals on a weekly basis. And that tells them pretty quickly whether they are feeling comfortable with their choice, you know. And they get to know us and start bonding with the group.
Mostly on the north side, but actually 3 or 4. And when it's 4, it's either someone to double on a part or to witness, where that's how we kind of, it's like an apprentice chair, you know, in the group. They haven't been to the bedside yet, and they want to see what happens.
So if you know of any men who would like to sing, the men's group, there's only 4 of us.
There's 5.
Well, I guess 5. 5 of us, so we're always looking for new members. If you like to sing and you can sing harmony, and even if you can't sing harmony, Bill will teach you. And we do bond also with each other, which helps us in turn relate to the patients better.
You know, we also memorize the songs that we sing. And when I saw the list of, I don't know, what is it, 40 songs that we have adopted in this group, I thought, there is no way I can memorize 40 songs, you know? Well, guess what? There is a way, and it's a good brain exercise. It really is, you know? And I was amazed that I could actually do that and memorize a melody part and a harmony part at the same time. So, you know, when I tell people, they say, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for being with us. I hope that some of you will be able to stay for lunch. I'm told that the offering today is chicken fried steak, and you don't get that everywhere. And if my wife knew that, she would call me and say, come home. But we enjoy, we have such a good kitchen, and this is the best place for lunch in town. And your lunch is on us, so you don't have to pay for lunch. And we'd be excited for you to stay. And then if you do, if you could all sit at a different table, that way could have some more conversation throughout lunch. But thank you for being here. Thank you for reaching out. I apologize for how long it took, but I think you understood that we were already booked, and was just glad to hear and to experience what you do. Let's pray together, and then we'll have lunch. Father, thank you that there are people that are willing to put even train their own emotions to step into situations that may be uncomfortable. And thank you for what we have witnessed today. We just pray that Threshold Singers would thrive, and thank you for the families that have experienced their care and their concern. Pray that you would give us an understanding, even as we have witnessed this, of maybe ways that we can be involved in the lives of people around us that are dying, and recognizing that hearing is one of the last things to go, and pray that you would give us opportunities to be a part of our own loved ones' lives and even folks around us. Thank you for today. Thank you for the opportunity that we have to fellowship around these tables. We ask your blessing on those that have prepared and those that will serve, and give us a good time of fellowship as we share in this meal together. In Jesus' name, amen.